All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video, and in today's video, guys, we are going to be checking out. Red Yellow Sabo again. Okay, so last week I did take Red Yellow Sabo to a locals. I'm going to share my experience on that when we get into it in the video. But let's just dive right into this video, guys. Let me give you a quick layout of what we're getting into so we can dive straight into this, because I do want to get this video out on time so I can make it to locals again tonight and try something new. Okay, so first up, we are going to head over to the lab, and we're going to check out a community-submitted game of Black Yellow Luffy versus Nami. That sounds like a nightmare, but we will check that out because that is a serious matchup. We have to know how to play against Luffy, and we have to know how to play against Nami, guys. It is what it is. We're going to check that out. That should be a fun one. And then from there, we will hop over to the sim, over to the deck editor of the sim, and we're going to look at the deck list I was running last week and kind of talk about where I want to go forward with the list. Excuse me. Then we are going to hop over to the sim and check out 5 games that I played, running 2 or 3 different versions of Sabo, so we can get some new ideas. You know, get the gears turning. I want to hear what you guys think, and we'll go over that more when we get into that part of the video. And then we will finish off, you know, with the deck lists that I was running in those 5 games, and we'll do some theory crafting from there. All right, so you know what you're getting into, guys. Let's hop straight into this. Like I said, no art critique today because I am in somewhat of a rush. I want to get to locals tonight, so it is what it is. Okay, now first and foremost, we do have to hop over to the to the lab real quick and check out this game on the sim, submitted by someone from the Discord community. If you want me to review your game, all you have to do is record your game, just like you've seen me do, and like we're going to see right here, someone else did. Record your game, okay. Upload it to YouTube. You can make it private where no one can see it except someone with a link. And then send the link to me on Discord. Don't DM me, please, guys. I've been getting a lot of direct messages, like private messages lately. It just fills up my inbox. It's just it's overloading me. System overload for me, guys. I'm sorry, it's just too much right now. Excuse me. But hop in the channel and then put it under review my game. Every morning when I wake up, I check that folder and see, okay, here's new games to play. And sometimes there aren't any new ones, but I have a whole list. So you're going to get thrown in the line of, next one on the list is the next one up. But if you want me to review your game, it's free. All you have to do, like I said, is I would download OBS. It's just type in OBS stream software on Google, something like that, OBS streaming. And it should come up with a program that's completely free. And you don't have to stream on there. You can just record games to your computer. Then once you do that, upload the file to YouTube. You can make it private, like I said, where no one can see it. And then you can send it to me on, review my game under the... Well, send it to me in the Review My Game channel of the Discord. And then I'll throw it in line, guys. It's that easy. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into this game. We've got a game of Black Yellow Luffy versus Blue Nami. All right, let's get into this. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. The quality is up, and we're good to go. Here we go, guys. So this first game here, it looks like the Nami is going to go first. That is probably ideal. Number one, the Luffy player will be able to get there. By the way, very interesting Luffy version, guys. Very interesting version of Luffy here. You know what? One more thing I almost forgot. Let me go ahead and hide my name here. This is not me playing. This is from the sim, guys. This is a community submitted video. This is not me playing. But like I said, very interesting looking version of Black Yellow Luffy. We'll talk about that more in a second. As far as the matchup goes, it takes a little while for Luffy to get going, so I can understand wanting to go first. However, I think you want to just drop down Gecko Moria right on curve. And that Flampe, I would use that on turn 1. I have no idea if they're going to do that or not. I do not know. I have not seen this game. I do not know how it ends. Excuse me, or anything about the game. But if I had to think about it on paper, Nami is probably slightly favored into Black Yellow Luffy, as crazy as that might sound, but that's not to say that Black Yellow Luffy can't win. Okay, now let's keep going. So looking at the hand, those 2 Shigan finger pistols are probably not going to be good at all versus Nami, unfortunately. But who knows? I don't know what version of Nami this even is. Okay, the Nami's going first. Now it's our turn. Now that was nice. Beautiful. And they went Flampe right away. Hang on, why is pause not working? There we go. It's like, there we go. Guys, it was like freaking out on me. So, real quick, guys, Nami or excuse me, playing out the Flampe right away like that, that is ideal. And now we can play out a Kuzan next turn, get as many answers as we can to our hand. And I want to go next turn Kuzan, swing. Well, I'll talk about swinging in a minute. So next turn Kuzan, into next turn buff Luffy, into next turn the 5 cost the other Luffy, finally into the next turn Sabo. You know what I mean? Just fill out your board completely. And then before you even start swinging, I would probably drop the Gecko Moria as well. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. Let me see if the spacebar is working. There we go. Now it is. I don't know what I was hitting before, guys. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up on the OBS recording. Okay, I think we're still good. We're good. Yep. All right, so right here, no. So yes, absolutely. I was gonna say I do not agree with swinging with without playing out Garp. I don't know about swinging here either. This, I would consider this an inaccuracy. Hear me out real quick. Let me bust out the accuracy meter. There it is. I would consider this a slight inaccuracy because Nami is hoping you swing this turn. She has 2 cards, or 2 Dawn active. You only have 1 real swing, let's just be honest. And then on top of that, she's going to be able to cycle through her deck now, right? So this is I would not consider swinging for 5 into 2 Dawn open for the Nami, because this will also let her use something like a Desert Spada to set her hand here, or to set her deck, if she has it. I don't know if she has it or not, obviously. Okay, and they just do a 2K. So you actually kind of lucked out there. I'm not going to lie. Like, that was actually pretty ideal that they only had that instead of some... Oops, let me remove the accuracy meter, and we're good to go. All right. They play out it, and look at that. They just cycled through a Desert Spada. That was so odd to me. Maybe they're trying. Maybe the Nami is trying to play around something like Isho, maybe. But that's not really what Black Yellow Luffy runs. So you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. That seems a little interesting to me. Because Desert Spada or White Snake would have been perfect last turn. And they just trashed both of them. Okay, swing for 5. Swing in here. They have 4 Dawn open. Let's see what happens. Desert, yes. Snake Dance, bounce back Akaya. Swing for 5. They still have 2 Dawn active. We know they have Akaya and then 3 other cards. Love Beam, yeah. So they were trying to get their Love Beam active as soon as possible. Which, of course, is not a bad idea. But at the same time, this is why I think it's kind of scary to swing early on. Especially for these little 5 attacks. You know, this early on, like I said, it seems a little bit dangerous. But let's see what happens. We do have the Luffy going. We're able to draw cards. Let's see what happens. I'm very curious to see how this game goes. I noticed we don't have a single 2-cost guy in our hand yet. Like, not a single one of the 2-cost guys. I wonder what version of the deck is being run here. Okay, we just went down to 0. But we can gain the life back immediately. Very nice. That's perfect. So this so far has been a perfect start. What happened to the Kuzan? Did I miss something? Did we not have a single counter? Hey, hang on. I'm sorry. I just missed everything. Okay, right here, they're going to swing for 5 into Kuzan. So I would definitely counter out of this personally. I would counter out of this. I don't think we do. Interesting. So here's... I will say this. The Sabo is pretty much useless in this matchup. We don't need it at all. Now, these buff Luffys that we're playing out, those are very strong. Those are very, very good. However, that Kuzan was just fine. Right, a 5k body, we could have kept the pressure on this turn because they only had 3 Dawn to block with this turn. And the play you do right here is excellent. So let me get to it real quick. Play this guy out. Attack, attack. That's perfect. Or not attack, you know, buff, buff. We're going to trash, you know, a card from hand and then fill up a card into our deck. This was absolute. I thought this was perfect. But I would have just saved the Kuzan, right? Because we still have 2 bodies on the board we need to replace. So this turn we could have swung for 5, then 7, then 8. Or 5, 8, 8. Or however you want to do it. 5, 7, 9, however you want to do it. Okay. Swing for 7. I like that. Then swing for 9. Those are break points. That is very solid. They're going to Gum Giant Gavel to trash a card from hand and then trashing a Sanji's Pilaf off the top of the deck. That was ideal. That was really good, guys. That was really nice. Okay, but what just happened? Did they just get a Deathwink trigger? This is why we absolutely needed to keep that Kuzan on the board. I think it would have been absolutely necessary because now what do they bounce back? They're going to bounce back the Luffy, of course, but the point is we still have that other 5 attack. You see what I'm saying? That's how I would have gone about it, at least. Okay, let's see what they do now. They're going to start off with the Sanji's Pilaf. They're going to blast out Akaya. They're going to go down to 4 cards in hand. And this is a very good Nami player. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I am suspicious of what happened on that first or the second turn when we attacked for the first time because I know they did a cycle, but it's like they trashed a Sanji's, or excuse me, no. It was a, oh gosh, Desert Spada and a White Snake. When they had 2 Dawn active, and instead they countered out with a 2K, I get the idea of trying to turn on the Love beams as soon as possible, but it's still smart to just play out the appropriate counters at the right time, you know what I mean? But other than that, this seems like a very competent, very good Nami player. Now, they're down to 2 Dawn open this turn. This is a turn that we really, really want to swing. It's too bad we don't have an ace in our hand, and I don't even know if there's an ace in the deck. Okay, let's see what happens here. And again, I haven't seen a single one of the little 2-cost guys. So I'm wondering if this is a new version of the list. Okay, popping that, yeah, we don't care about that because we're going to get our life back every single time. We can trash that Luffy in hand to put it back into life. We're in a pretty good spot, but we do want to develop at least one body right now. You know, I really feel like I'd be beating myself up right now a little bit about letting the Kuzan go. There's no way in the world I would have let Kuzan go there. That's just me personally. Okay, play out this guy again. I do agree with this completely. Yep, use the buff first. It won't matter. Whoop. Hang on. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're not going to gain life this turn. What was the idea in that attack there? I'm sorry, I was a little confused in that attack right there. That was interesting. Swing 5 into 6. He used White Snake. Swing 8. Okay, that one goes through. Their turn. I'm not even going to lie. I think right here, if I were Nami, I would go 15. But I guess it's because I know your hand and you wouldn't even be able to counter out of that. That is interesting. This is a bold strategy, Cotton. Bold strategy. Very, very cool stuff going on here. I'm a little perplexed. I really want to see the list for this deck. I'll have to message them on Discord because I think this might be a version that doesn't run the 2-cost guys at all. Okay, so they're gonna run over the Garp there, sure. Like I said, I'm very, very surprised that the Nami player did not just go 15 to face right here, because what is that? You know, she's still got 3 cards left. I don't know. I guess they don't know what's in your hand, which is fair. But at the same time, they see a Flampe on the board. I don't know. It's one of those things where, okay, it's like, how lucky are you feeling, right? How lucky are you feeling? In this situation, I'd be feeling very lucky. All right, but we're set up now. Now we can use our effect. Don't forget to buff your Luffys here. They're down to 14 cards in deck. Yeah, because I think we're definitely going to review this game. Yeah, it's time to attack, and we don't have any extra body. We only have 3 attacks. That's the problem here. So we're going to swing for 5. This will absolutely get taken out, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 1K. Swing for 5. So we're rushing. I think we're rushing too much in this situation. We'll review it at the end. Sorry, guys. Let me not get ahead of myself. So right here, swing for 9. Is that what we're going to do? Or, excuse me, swing for 11. Swing for 11. So they can actually snake dance, bounce this back, and do another 2-cost counter here. To get out of it. Bounce another Kaya back to you. Oh gosh, that might have been the nail in the coffin there. Swing for 11. They'll probably just take this one. Yep. Okay, and they draw a card from the Perfume Femur. Draw 2, trash 2 with Kaya. Whoops. They're still trashing cards. Play out the Margaret. Play out the Kaya. How many cards are left in deck? Hopefully he looks over it soon. We're in a tough spot, guys. Swung 5 into Flampe. Yeah, that's a card I would have let go. I would let the Flampe go. They've got 6 cards left in their deck, guys. There is almost no way out of this one. Unless our opponent's hand is just bricked out of control right now. There's a 2-cost guy. We finally saw the very first 2-cost guy of the game on turn... What are we on? Turn 7? Hang on, let's see. He's about to play out a card here. He's trying to figure out how he wants to do this. Turn 7, we're finally seeing our first 2-cost character. Okay, play out the Sabo, draw 2, trash 2. Yep. We are definitely going to talk about this once we get a little bit through the game here. I'm just waiting for it to be over, because I don't know how the Nami can lose in this position. And again, I have not seen this game, but I don't think it's possible to lose in this position. Well, okay, that's not a card that makes them mill, so they'll take that and then a 2K counter. So now they just have to block out of one more attack, and then the game's over. Actually, no, excuse me. They can just take both of these. So they probably will. They got a White Snake to do a top 5 arranging. They arrange their top 5. And let's see what happens here. Then they'll probably swing for 9 with the other Luffy. We're just waiting on the Nami to do her top 5 arrangement. Okay, and we've got all these insanely powerful cards in hand. Okay, swing for that. They'll probably just take it to be very wise. They do. Let's see if they get a trigger. No trigger. Pass turn. Okay, so that's got to be game. I can almost guarantee it. Draw a card from Margaret. They're down to, what, 2 or 3 cards left in deck now. They have 8 Dawn, or excuse me. Well, draw 2, trash 2. Let's see what happens here. Okay, 2 cards in deck, and they've got 6 Dawn active. The writing is on the wall, guys. The writing is on the wall. This is a less than ideal situation for the Black Yellow Luffy player to be in. But hey, we've all been there, right? When you're learning how to do this matchup, you know. And here we go. They're going to win before this even goes off. Yep, GG. We got to talk. Okay, to the Black Yellow Luffy player. Let me explain a few things here, what I would be doing differently. Before I even attack, even though this turn, I would not have attacked. I would not have attacked right here because they have 2 Dawn active, and this is an ideal turn for them to use a Desert Spada or that card you see in their trash, that Rubber Band of Doom. They could have gone Desert Spada, Rubber Band of Doom, or White Snake, which are all nightmare situations for us. Those are absolute nightmare situations for us. You played out the Kuzan. That was perfect. But if you were going to swing, let me say that too. If you were going to swing at all this turn, which I don't recommend, swing first, then play the Kuzan. Not a big deal, though. They counter out with a 2K counter to drop their hand size down to start setting up their Love beams. Now, this next turn, I'm going to fast forward to our turns. Right here. I'm okay with playing out the Garp there, sure, to do some top 5 searching. But I don't like this. They have 4 Dawn active. This is scary time. Like, this is scary time because they're going to bounce cards back to their hand. They're going to bounce your card back potentially, bounce their Kaya back, or they're just going to counter, or they take it and start throwing cards back into your deck, or not deck, into your hand. It's just like, I would not swing right here when they have 4 Dawn up this early in the game. I would be developing my board as wide as possible. I mean, as wide as humanly possible. And I mean with 5,000 power characters or more. Okay, but all right, but hey, we chose to be the more aggressive route. That's not the worst thing in the world, but I think it's a less than ideal play, and I think it is slightly like how do I say it? Excuse me. I think it's a slight inaccuracy to do this. They just basically drew 4 cards that turn, right? By attacking there, they drew so many cards because they pulled cards back. They just played out the Kai. They pulled back to draw 2. They did the Love Beam. It's too scary of a situation. And then we don't save the Kuzan. That part I don't get either. Okay, fine. We attacked with it. You know, sometimes you got to, you know, what's the expression? Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet, right? Okay, we made this attack. We're going to have to eat it. However, I would at least counter out with my guy right there, right? Like, for example, the Sabo in this matchup is just not good. We don't need Sabo. We need those guys that are, you know, the other 5-cost 6Ks. I mean, Sabo's fine, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather have those buff Luffys, the guys that can get huge. That part you were playing, like, absolutely perfectly. But right here, okay, so we're going to play this out. This part I loved. Okay, doing this right here, I was very, very happy with. Setting up your cards like that, we're in good shape now. We're in good shape. Now, right here, swinging 7 is a break point. I'm not upset about that. He does a Gum Giant Gavel. That's fine. It gets up to 9, and now we can swing for 9 more. Now, this is where we get hit with the Death Wink, right? Death Wink pulls a card back to hand. Do you see how important it is now to have protected the Kuzan? That was one more body we were going to have that they couldn't bounce back. Now, again, I think this turn attacking was fine into 3 Dawn the way we did, because they only had 3 Dawn this turn, right? Let me go back a little bit. Yes, they only had 3 Dawn. I think swinging for 7 and 9 was something they did not want to happen to them, and we squeezed a life through, so we know it wasn't something they wanted. Having the Kuzan down would have been very important here to mitigate some of this bounce back that they got with the Death Wink. Okay, now, moving forward, now we're transitioning into the later game. This is where we need that extra body. They only have 2 Dawn active. So this turn, you can swing crazy if you want to, as long as you develop 2 other bodies. I don't think I would have... Hang on one second. I'm sorry. I don't think I would have used that. So this turn, I would have gone 4-cost, 5-cost. I would have gone the 4-cost Kuzan into the 5-cost Luffy that can buff and filled out my board, and I would still have the other Kuzan in the situation I was talking about. So you'd have a 5K, 2 6Ks, and another 5K after that. That's the route that I would have taken, because I think swinging here is a good idea. They have 2 Dawn active. Let's swing. Let's go. The most they can do is 2 events, and we know they already used up a Gum Giant Gavel. So if we can swing for, like, 6 and then 8, I'm fine with that. Swing 6, swing 8, and then that gets around the 2-cost White Snake, right? But right here, playing out, now that we played out the what's it called, the 2-cost Thunderbolt, that actually kind of hurt us in this situation, in my opinion, because now who cares about their blocker? Like, we're going to run through that eventually. And you have Shigan finger pistols to pop that later in the game for when it's more relevant, or the Thunderbolt. We could have saved that. You know what I mean? Instead, you need to develop your board as wide as possible, even if you choose not to swing. I don't think that's a bad idea. But I will say, when they only have 2 or 3 Dawn active, I do think it's worth swinging a few times if you can do it. Okay, so let's keep going. So right here, I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. Swinging for 5 there. That's what I was saying. I know that was literally your only play because of the fact we played out the 2-cost event. But that's why I would much rather not swing at all here. They just drew. What did they draw? 2 cards off that? Hang on. Okay, play. We're gonna swing for 5. So they play out the 2-cost White Snake. That drew them a card. Now you can't even attack with your Luffy. Right? So you might as well have swung 6 to begin with. It was just a better attack. You know what I mean? And then with the other 9 Dawn, you played out Kuzan in the 5-cost. Okay, then right here, we can't, okay, you swung, but it didn't matter. And then swing for 8. That's fine at that point. You know what I mean? That would have been fine at that point. And then we can go from here. And again, I don't even care about their blocker. You know, we could have just ignored that. Okay, now we're going to fast forward to the next turn. And let's see. This is our last turn to really set up. And we should have 2 other characters on the board right now. We should have 2 other Kuzans on the board if we had played this a little more accurately. And in this situation, what we could have done was a very, very solid Gecko Moria turn here. Where it's like, okay, you know, let's just play out the Gecko Moria. Don't worry about the 2-cost guys. We don't need them. We're going to have a full board. We just need to develop the Gecko Moria. Because remember what I was saying. In this situation, we would have had a Kuzan, the 2 Luffys, and then replace this Flampe with a Gecko Moria. Don't even activate the effect. Just play the 8-cost 9K body. Choose no targets. Attach 2 to your leader. You can put 2 cards back to your life just in case your opponent tries to KO you. But before you do that, first buff your Monkey D. Luffys. And I would probably pass the turn because they have all their Dawn active. And I think they're down to 15 cards now because of how aggressive we attacked early on. That really hurt us attacking early on. Guys, attacking against Luffy, unless you could go board wide on turn 3 and keep attacking like crazy. Yeah, we're down to 14 cards in their deck. I wouldn't attack. I wouldn't even attack in this situation personally, guys. I'd wait till next turn. And it still might not matter at this point in the game because of the decisions we made earlier. They have compounded to this situation we're in now. Look at this, swinging for 5. This is a Nami's, like, best dream. Like, it's like, oh, thank you. You know what I mean? This late in the game when I have 8 Dawn active, please, yeah, swing for that there. We're going to lose cards here. Swinging for 11. This is the turn they bounce back a Kaya and then bounce back another Kaya, I believe. Both snake dances, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Nightmare. This is a nightmare situation. And then they're going to swing in for 11. And now we got him down to 2 life. And like I said, in this situation, I would have just developed the board more. But hey, it is what it is. It was still a good game, but hopefully I helped out a little bit. When you're going against Nami, the most important thing is to go wide first. It doesn't matter about attacking early. Let them have 20 cards in their hand because they only have 10 Dawn every turn. It doesn't matter how many cards they have in their hand. They only get 10 Dawn per turn to work with. So if we're swinging for 9s and up, that's our chance to win the game. You know what I mean? But when we swing early on for these low counts, they can easily punish us by milling cards from their hand, from the top of their deck. Okay, good game. This was an awesome submission here, guys. I've said this before, guys, on this part of the video for the lab. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It doesn't matter if it's an OP07, OP08, previous formats, whatever. It doesn't matter if it's a live game, right? And I don't care what leader you're playing. This is just really, I really want this to be an educational part of my videos that hopefully helps out players get better at the game and take their game to the next level. Awesome submission. That was a really good game. Okay, let me go ahead and black out the screen for just a second, guys. Let me get set up. Y'all give me just a moment. Okay, move this over to here. Now we're going to head over to the sim for just a second here, and then we're going to head into some other games. Let me get all set up here. Y'all give me just a moment. Okay, first things first. This is, I forgot to take off the sim overlay. So this is the list that I was running last week. I went 3-2. Let me explain my games. There was a real tragedy. I don't want to use that word too loosely, but I played with this list last week, and I think I even made a revision. I think I was only running 3 Kitten Killers and 2 Luffys. I think I since went up to 3 with this version. But when I was playing, one game I lost because I did not see a rusher the entire game. Now, hey, I'm only running 6 rush cards. So maybe that is like, okay, well, what do you expect, to draw them every single game? The answer was yes, I did expect that, but it doesn't always happen. So I have since upped the rusher count. I'll show you guys the more updated list in just a second. But some other things happened as well, where it's like one game I lost because my counters, I could not draw one counter. I had 10 cards in my hand, and I lost to a 7K attack because I could not counter out of it. I had 2 1Ks and then nothing but bricks. I had like, I think that game I had 2 Kid Killers, a Shanks, 2 Luffys, two of Kiku, and then 2, or 1, no, that's what, it was 1 Lin and 1 Tropical Torment. I don't know if that added up to 10, but you get my point. One of them might have been a Parasparrow. You get my point. I would have loved to have seen one of these. That would have completely saved me the game. And I lost that game literally by 1K counter. Because if I survive that turn, then I win the game on the crackback. Like, there's just no other way for me to lose. You know what I mean? It's just all I had to do was draw 1K counter. I think I had 4 cards in hand. Excuse me, this is what it was. I had 4 or 5 cards in my hand, and I had 4 life left. Drew 1, drew 2, drew 3, drew 4. I saw 1 counter. It was like, I think it was a Kikanojo. It's like, well, that's not going to do it. I need a 1K counter. If it was Neko Mamushi, I would have won that game. Because I had 2 1K counters in hand. I just needed a 7K. I just needed to get to 8K, like +3, to get out of a 7K attack, and I could have won that game. So that was how I lost one game. The other one was to the rush. And then the other 3 games, I did absolutely fine. Just, excuse me, the deck performed as intended. One game, so one of the games I won was against Dragon. The other was against a newer player, because I lost my first 2 games straight, guys. It felt bad. It felt really bad. But it was for the reasons I said, where it's like, well, dang, man, I felt like I was winning this game, and I just needed the closer in the game against Lucci. So the first game I lost was against Lucci. Good player, like a really good player at my locals. But we were talking afterwards. I was like, I said, hey, man, I think, you know, if I just had 1 rush card, I'm pretty sure I would have won this game. And he was like, yeah, maybe, you know, who knows, right? We don't know. But I can tell you, like, from experience, if I was just recycling a rush card every single turn going to face, I'm like 99% sure I would have won the game. I'm like 99% sure. I can't prove it, but it is what it is. I was very comfortable with that matchup. And the second game was due to just pure bad luck. It's like, I think I do run like 18 or 20 bricks in this deck. So it's like, and I didn't have a Dragon King in my hand either, so I couldn't have like held Dawn open for that. I'm not going to count You're the One Who Should Disappear or Flame Dragon King as bricks. So if I count, I have 3, 4, 5, 8, 12, 16, plus 6, 22. So there are 22 bricks in this deck with 3 ways to get out of bricks with the You're the One Who Should Disappear. So I felt fine. I felt like I was going to be okay, but it just wasn't. I just feel like it's not consistent enough with this many bricks in the deck. So I've since revised it. We'll look at that in just a second. But other than that, like I said, I played against a newer player. That one was not close, unfortunately. You know, it is what it is. Like I said, I lost 2 straight, so I went straight to the end table. But then I won out from there. It was like, okay, I beat a newer player. I won against a dragon player. And then I won in a mirror match. Then I won in a mirror match. That was just unfortunate. Me and the guy are friends. Not gonna drop his name for his own sake. Obviously, he's like a really good friend of mine. And we were talking about it. Notice there's no cracker in this list. Hang on, this might not be the exact list. Oh, well, I think it's because I updated it a little bit. I think this Neko Mamushi should have been a cracker. Yeah, I think that's the one difference that we're not seeing in this list, because I absolutely was running cracker. And we were both talking about it after the game. I was letting him get aggressive against me with his Sabo deck. And when I drop down to like 1 life, my cracker is a 1. Like, I attach 1 Dawn, he's a 7K double attacker. And now, you know, I can just start beating through like that. It's just so powerful. One thing you do have to be careful of, if you're trying to put the cracker back on top of life, remember, if you attack in for 7 with double attack and they take it, and then now they go equal to your life or below your life, you lose that 1K buff. So now you can't push him back to the top of life. So it's something to take into consideration. Yeah, I wonder what version. I will at least like, look through 2 or 3 more before I show you guys the new version. Oh, maybe it was version 2. No, all we have to do is see if cracker's in it or not. That'll tell us right away. Give me 1 second, guys. Was it 9? Oh, no, that was one I was using for another video. Anyway, whatever the case is, I'm actually just going to show you guys the new direction I'm taking this list. This is pretty much it. Like, this is the new direction for the list. I'm down to only 15 bricks in this one. And by the way, that's very standard. I did I brought up, let me show you guys. I looked at some top decks for, I'm just going to bring this over, guys. This is my notepad. You guys will kind of see my notes here. Okay, so can y'all see this? Yeah, y'all can see it kind of. Sorry, the font's very small. But I brought up like a bunch of currently winning lists. I even have Blue Black Sakazuki on here for reference. We'll push this down. But currently, if you look at Lucci, the average amount of bricks in these decks that we're seeing here is... So Lucci usually has around 22 bricks. Gekko Moria has 15. Black Yellow Luffy has 13 because they have a lot of cards with counter on it. Bonnie has 16, Enel has 18, Red Purple Law has 17, Dofi, Blue Dofi has 17, and then 22 on Uda, 22 on Katakuri, and then 14 on Reiju. And then if you want to pause and read this, this is what each one of them kind of average on 2K counters. And I looked at like top 5, the most recent top 5 lists that I could find for any of these leaders. And notice the 0 cost on the end here, that would be a card like what you see on the left right now. The You're the One Who Should Disappear. When it says 0 costs, that's what that means. And this, again, this was just a quick one that I made up. I didn't add a bunch of decks together and make actual perfect averages, but I picked the most recent deck that had won or who had gotten the highest placing in top 5 in OP07, and I chose that list and I marked down how many bricks, how many 2K counters, and how many 1Ks they had. This is what I came up with. And I was like, okay, you know what? If we go back to that list, let me go back to the list we had up. Hang on one second, guys. Sorry, I know I'm all over the place today. This one. Like I said, I had 22 bricks in here. I did have the 3 0 costs, but then it's like if you think about it, it's almost like there's even more bricks because because even though these technically are not bricks, if I have 2 Dawn active, this is not a brick at all, right? And if I have cards in hand, this is not a brick either. But then it's like, okay, what if I don't have these cards in hand that I want to use with this? It ends up being a brick anyway sometimes. It made it a little too inconsistent for what we were trying to do. At least in my opinion. That was my personal opinion. And one thing I also noticed is I was too low on my rushers. So notice in this list, like I said, I think I've revised this, guys. I'm pretty sure I was running Cracker over Neko Mamushi, or it was something like this. Hang on one second. I will look up... y'all give me just a second, guys. I think the list was something along these lines right here, without having to look it up. Yellow, Cracker. I know I was running 4 Crackers. Like, I just know for a fact I was. And I think what I might have done... I wonder if I took out the Tropical Torments. No, I didn't. I know I didn't drop the Tropical Torments. I'm just going to do it like this for now, just so we have an idea. I know for a fact Cracker was in the deck, because it came up in my matchup against the Red Yellow Sabo mirror against my buddy. And the deck was more similar to this, where I only had 2 Luffys and 3 Kid and Killers. So I only had 5 rush cards. Now, like I said, I don't remember what the last thing was in here. I think it might have been a 4th Linlin or a 4th You're the One Who It was You're the One Who Should Disappear. Hang on one second. We'll add that. This was the version I was running last Friday. I'm almost 99% sure this is how it looked. If it wasn't this, then it was something very, very similar. Now, with that in mind... the problem was, like I said, I felt like there was a consistency issue where it was like, okay, Kikinojo is real nice when I play it, but, against, I go to a very sweaty locals, guys. So, like, okay, if I'm going against Red Purple Law, Kikinojo just gets bottom decked. If I'm going against Lucci, this card gets trashed with something like 5 cost Nightmare Luffy or 6 cost, what's his name, Brook. So, how good is this card really, to be honest, right? Now, this card was a monster. This card was keeping me in the game against Lucci when I could not get my rush cards. So it was an absolute beast. Shanks was also kind of like... Shanks is such a situational card. Like, against certain decks, it's absolutely insane. Right? Like, against Bonnie, I can just pop their Zoros. Right? You played a Zoro? Okay, I'm going to play a 10 cost 12k and just pop your Zoro. You know what I mean? Or potentially, if they don't have Rosinante down, you could pop their Eustace Kid. There's so many things you could pop with this. Against Enel, there's like 3 major targets. Yamato, Katakuri, and Ace. Against Gekko Moria, you have Gekko Moria. This card is insane, and it probably is still good as a 2-of. I think I want to keep it as a 2-of, but it is another brick. So with that in mind, let me show you guys the new direction I kind of was taking the deck, the new idea that I had. I wonder if it's BMP 9. I'm sorry, guys. I got to try one more thing. I'm trying to find that list that I was running. Was it this one? No. We already looked at this one because this is the one I was messing around with a video that I showed recently. So this is the direction I'm heading. I replaced the Shanks with Katakuri. It's not as good. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, this does not deal with Yamato. This does not deal with Ace. This does not deal with Zoro. Zoro is kind of my biggest problem, right? Like, that's the card that I want to run Shanks to deal with, okay? I don't like that they can just have a card that I have no answer for at all. Now, yes, technically we can just win before they have the chance to drop an ace. You know what I mean? Like, that is the direction the deck can go where you deal with that. But at the same time, I would like to fit the Shanks in here. I'm going to test out this deck you see right here. This is the deck I'll be playing tonight, and I'm going to be messing with at my locals. I'm going to try out the Katakuri. We'll see how it goes. Because this does still deal with like an opposing Katakuri, an opposing Gecko Moria, or an opposing Eustace Kid. And Rosinante can't save you from this one, right? Or I could use it defensively. If I need to gain 2 life in one turn just to keep on the aggression, I could bounce a card to my life, and then I could bounce this card to my life with my leader effect if I have 9 or 10 Dawn for the turn. So I think this card, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep everybody updated on this. But at the same time, I wish this was Shanks, and I wish I could just search for Shanks. Then it would be a no-brainer for me, because I do think Shanks is, like, for what we're trying to do, I get it is a 10-cost card, so you don't get to use your leader effect. But if your opponent just spent their entire last turn playing out like a 9 or 10-cost character like Doflamingo or Zoro or Yamato or Ace or whoever, right? If I can just match their 9 or 10 cost with my 10 cost and just pop theirs, and now mine's still on the board, I'll take that pretty much every single time, right? It just seems so good. It seems like it's so good. But yeah, other than that, I did go down the brick count. I got rid of the events. I'm done with the events other than 2 of these. You're the one who should disappears. Notice my rush package. I'm up to 8 now. I was at 5. I'm sorry that the last one said 6. I know that's confusing. It's just not accurate. I'm up to 8 rush cards now. 3 Luffys, 3 Zoros, 2 Kid Killer. Kid Killer is a card that, okay, I've changed things around, right? Notice there's a Gadatsu in the list, and Kikinojo's out of the list. I no longer care about dropping my opponent's life down. I want to deal with my opponent's board first, and then I can easily outvalue them over the course of the game by gaining life every turn, eating up an attack that way every single turn. So my new logic, my new idea with this matchup, and notice I went up Charlotte Smoothie, like Neko Mamushi's gone, Cracker was already in. This Charlotte Smoothie replaced Neko Mamushi, and basically sort of, it's not the same, but Gadatsu replaced Kikinojo ultimately, because I want to be able to pop cards on the board. Because in my playtesting, I started noticing, like, man, Dofi's a problem. Dofi's kind of becoming a problem here, so I need to be able to pop his cards. Notice one thing about Doflamingo, all his characters are at 4 life, right? So I can still attack on turn 1 if they choose to take it. That's fine with me, because 4 is the number I have to hit against their life. And then if they want to go down to 3 life, if I attack next turn, okay, that's fine, because they probably weren't going to deal with my Gadatsu. I can swing 7 with Gadatsu and then life him, and then just keep doing things that way. And if they want to start swinging sideways on the board and defending their board, then they're in a lot of trouble, right? Because I can swing 7 with Gadatsu into one of their characters, life my Gadatsu, and then swing 6 into one of their other characters with my leader. And now when they attack enemy, I'm playing Gadatsu down next turn, I'm popping another character. I'll keep them at 4 life as long as I need to until I can establish something bigger like a Katakuri maybe, or a 7-Lin, or one of these rushers that I can just constantly recycle. So the Gadatsu, I think, is going to be very strong into the Red-Purple Law matchup and into Dofi, and potentially into just anything, right? Anything early on they play, I can pop it with Gadatsu. And if I need to, like, really worry about a certain target that's, like, kind of lower, like 4 cost or lower, I can just hang on to my Gadatsu and not attack life. I can just keep gobbling up the board. So I'm trying to take the deck into a slightly different direction where it has a little more versatility. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, guys, I'm going to be playing this tonight. Hopefully my last Flampe comes in time. Otherwise, it's going to be 1 Koala here because I still only have 3... I ordered my other Flampe, but I'm just waiting for it to come in the mail. For now, it's going to be 3 Flampes and a Koala. I've got my Hiyori's. The other 2K count I'm running is Satori. I still have 20 cards that can come out of my life directly into the field as triggers. Yes, they all cost 1 card. Like, notice I'm running Paraspero, Sanji, Satori, Cracker, and Smoothie. Okay? Yes, they do cost 1 card out of hand to play. Oh, well, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So, I really don't mind that too much, to be honest. But yeah, that's about it. I'm up to 8 rushers. I've got 2 Katakuris. So like I said, the bricks I have, 4, 8, 12, 14, 16. I'm up to 16 bricks, excuse me, not 15. 16 bricks in hand. I've considered going up to 17. I might drop 1 Smoothie for 1 more Lin because I just think this card is so clutch. However, I do have 4 Puddings and 4 Parosperos. I should be able to draw into it if I really, really need it. You know what I mean? So I'm not too worried about the pudding being down to 2. We'll see what happens there. You're the one who should disappear. I still need to keep 2 of these to help cycle my hand out. And if I get it with the trigger, I can set the trigger if I need to with Hiyori. This card is just absolutely incredible for that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is the new direction that I'm going with it, guys. I'll have an update for it at some point. But this is after doing some more play testing, after taking it to locals. I wanted less bricks in the deck, and I wanted more rushers. That was like the number one thing, the number one idea I came across. Katakuri is experimental. We'll see how it goes tonight. But I would actually rather this be something like I would rather this be 10 cost Shanks. I'm just going to be honest. But, you know, this is searchable. It does have more versatility where, yes, it can remove a lot of your opponent's characters, but it can also help you gain life if you need to, right? It has a lot of options in that way. All right, let's go ahead and check out the games, guys. That was long-winded, but this was kind of going to be, this video, I should have mentioned it more at the beginning. We're going to be checking out Sabo. This will be a comprehensive deck builder's guide or deep dive into Sabo. That's what this video is going to act as. All right, so let's go ahead and hop in the games, guys, and then we'll check out these lists as well. So first game up here, I'm going to try and go through these pretty quick because the video is already running pretty long. Let me get the volume off, and let me get the speed on 2x. Okay, first video here, guys, or first game, I'm going against Kalgara. This is an OP08 version. This version of the deck that I'm running that you see is a Straw Hat Crew version. Someone asked earlier, sorry I didn't get back to your message, someone asked if I had been messing with this. The answer is yes. This video is from, I think, like a week or two ago. I have been messing with the Red Yellow Sabo Straw Hat version, but not until OP08. Like, that is something that I'm trying to wait on. Notice I'm running the Zoro that can pop from life. It pops a 4 or less. A lot of interesting stuff here. So Nami was able to grab Nami. Did y'all see that? I think that's what happened right there. So right here, I grabbed the... Sorry, guys. I got to do this one more time. Yeah, it can grab Nami because that doesn't have the name Nami. It has to be the exact name or you can grab it. Okay, so now Kalgara's turn. They're going to be able to attack here. They have 3 Dawn. Let's see what they do. They play out Ashura. Okay, not a big deal. They do I believe that's a top 4 search or top 5 search. They swing in for 5. I'm going to counter out of these early ones just in case. I'd rather not worry too much about it. Swing for 5. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on my opponent, get him to lose some life. Because one thing about, and I'm going to play out, I'm going to finish up with a Nami right here. One thing about Kalgara is they do want to take their life sometimes so they can cheat cards into play. That's fine, but I want to punish him for that as well, right? I want to put the heat on him early so that way he can't just keep gaining value from his leader's life. Okay, just get a 4 cost 5k, the new Zoro, it's a 1k counter. Let's see what happens next. So they're on a 5 Dawn turn. Let's see what they choose to do. This version of the deck, I think, does have some potential, but I'm not going to lie. So far, the best I've had... Okay, he swings 2 into 2. He can have that. The best results I've had, the most consistent, have been the Big Mom Pirates package. Okay, 9 into 5. Sure, we're going to take that. He gets out a Wiper. Wiper's going to go ahead and put the event back to the bottom of his deck. He's going to do a top 5 search. I think... Let's see what he gets. I think he got another Wiper. I think I'm mousing over it over on the far left. Or maybe we're waiting for him to do something. Just waiting on my opponent here. They're taking quite some time. So I take it. I go down to 3 life. I get a Zoro from it. And now I can start getting pretty aggressive, right? Like, I think now that... One thing I noticed about this deck, guys, is you want to be able to get aggressive with these rush cards, at least at some point, right? Like they're pretty important. But then I draw Kikinojo. That gives me a whole nother game plan here. Yeah, I think the right answer here is to swing 6, get a card out of hand, play out the Kikinojo, gain a life, put him top of deck. It's going to come back into play for me after eating an attack. That is a massive play, and I do miss that in the current version that I'm running. But at the same time, very, very different style decks. Swing for 7, sure. I get the Kikinojo. That literally just countered his entire play. Kikinojo's on the board. Getting him down to 3 life with this deck is very important. He swings in for 6. I 2k counter out of that because that's an easy 2k counter. He plays out the guy Nolan that can gain a life for him if he has the Kalgara in play. And now he's got 1 Dawn active. Okay, let's see what he does with it. Right here, I've got some choices. I'm going to swing 7 into face. He's got 1 Dawn active, so maybe he can use some type of event to get out of this. He does. El Thor. Okay, I remember this game. I think he's about to leave. So, El Thor, guys, you cannot use El Thor. Well, you can. It's a 1 cost 2k counter. But it's a 1 cost 4k if your opponent is at 2 or less life. Okay? It's the opposite of Rad Beam. Rad Beam is at 4k for 1 if you're at 2 or less life. El Thor is if your opponent is at 2 or less life. So that did bite him in the butt, and he ended up just leaving that game. Don't worry, I know that was kind of a crappy one, but we still got 4 games left. Hang on 1 second, let me just find him. Red, yellow. So that was the Sabo one right here, and then we got, hang on. Was that first? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, now these next ones are a very interesting version of the deck that I'm working on. These are running the Sky Island package for Enel. I'm trying everything with, or not for an L, for Red Yellow Sabo. I'm trying everything with this leader, guys. I want to know what the absolute best, most consistent version of the deck is, and that's pretty much all that matters to me, because I want this leader to work. That's where we're at, right? That's what we're trying to do here. And you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Which version do you think is the best? Which version do you want to see me put more time into? And I'm going to be honest, guys. Okay, right here, I think I grab, probably grab Namaru, or You're the One Who Should Disappear. That seems good too. So far, guys, the Big Mom Pirates package has been the best, but you guys tell me what y'all think. You know, if y'all see a list you like today, the Straw... I know that the Straw Hat version was not a great game, but hopefully at least gave you an idea of what was coming. Because that game was still just getting started, but my opponent made a blunder and forfeited. They conceded. Okay, they swing for 7. I go ahead and use a counter early here so I can keep my life pretty high, and I can also keep my hand size, you know, low enough in case they're trying to pudding me. All right, let's see what they do. Okay, they pass after doing this in Goku. I'm going to swing 5 at face. Now all of my triggers are on. All of my, like, Kikanojo, Nekomamushi. I'm not sure if I'm running those in this deck, but we'll check afterwards. All right. Here we go. They're playing out a bunch of stuff. We know what 7 Warlords of the Sea packages do. They're going to swing for 7. I'm going to 2K counter out. They're going to pass turn. It's my turn. All right. So right here, I've got a lot of attacks I can swing their way. Right? I can swing for 5 here. Yeah, I think I'm going to push a card to life. I think I do. I think I mess up a little bit here. Bear with me. I think I mess up a tiny bit here. Because what I should have done... Yeah. Excuse me. Because I think I'm going to play out the Kikanojo, do this, bounce this card back. Okay, well, that ended up being 7. Sorry, no, that was fine. So swing for 7. I'm up to 5 life now. They're down to 2. I've got 2 relevant bodies on the board. They're going to have to fight these. Right here, I'm like, you know, let me just give him a 1K counter, make him invest more into it. Swing 6 there. This eats up one of his attacks. Opponent made a blunder there. That was an absolute play mistake. They should have brought back the Jinbei and then bounced and then stood up the... Pause, hang on. So that whole turn should have gone differently. They should have swung 5 into my guy, into my dog there with Jinbei. Then they should have swung for 6 or 7. I would have let that card go. Then they could have swung 7 into my Ohm with their leader. Bouncing back the Jinbei, standing up the Edward Weevil, having forward on left for the turn to play the Jinbei and to go from there. Okay? But I don't think it would have helped too much in this situation. I'm in a pretty good position. Okay? But I guess technically it did save them. You know, it would have done a lot. It would have helped out big time. Because right here, if he attacks into this guy again, I'll probably just let him have it, right? Plays out that. Now he can't. Okay, yeah, so that just messed up his entire turn. Guys, sequencing is so important, especially with these decks that I show off a lot of different decks in this game, right? Like, I show off a lot of, like, games. Sorry, guys, I had to pause it. Blue, Green, Zoro, and Zonji, Red, Yellow, Sabo. These are pretty high skill level decks, guys. I'm not trying to just say that. I'm not trying to be like, oh, yeah, these decks are so hard to play. It has nothing to do with that. They just are. They're hard decks to play. There's sequencing involved. There's a lot of outplay potential that you can do. Okay, so I play out Kid and Killer. I swing for 7. Let's see if he gets a trigger here. No trigger. Bounce back the Kid and Killer to the top of my life. And my opponent is just like in the absolute worst position possible. I'm going to swing for 5 into him here, and then we're going to swing for 7. Or 8, excuse me. So I'm going to keep the Ohm alive. So I'm going to basically force him to play something from hand here that deals with that Ohm. Because I have lethal on board, right? Like, I pretty much have lethal on board. Okay, let's see what they do. They're going to swing 5 into that. Very nice. I just let it go. They're going to swing 5 into me. I really want that card back. So, yep. Hey, I will take that card. Would you like to swing again, sir? Right? Okay, he does attack, or he does have 7 Dawn active, but he has 8 Dawn active, excuse me. But he ends up not having a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. He cheats out the Boa with Jinbei. He has 3 Dawn left. He might swing for 5 more here. We'll have to see. Unblockable on a card that was just played. Okay, so that was another play mistake. Could be a new player. But right here, we're going in pretty crazy here, right? So swing for 7 there. They give me a 2K, 1K. Swing for 7 here. Let's see what they give me. I'm just eating. That was all 1K counters, by the way, guys. So I know they have nothing left in hand. So now it's just a matter of swing 7. That will get me through, or swing 8, whatever. And they did draw a card from that, and then swing 9. And that should be game. Good stuff there. That was a fun one. Okay, next one, we have another version. These next 3, or well, these next 2, are going to be all Sky Island versions of Sabo. There might be some potential here, I'm not going to lie. Not saying that was the best example, bear with me. But I think there is something here as far as the feel of the deck goes, because going second, you have Gadatsus in a list like this. Actually, I'm trying to think if I have Gadatsu in this version. But I would definitely add it after my most recent play testing. This version can run Gadatsu, anti-searchable. I get El Thor there. I'm not going to waste that on Otama. I don't care about Otama. Okay, swing for 5. And then I'm going to play out a 4-cost card. It's going to be Ohm. All right. So play out, whoops. Yep, play out the Ohm. I had a pretty high chance of drawing that, guys, because I just got 2 cards from life. I've drawn 2 I've drawn 2 cards now since I went second. I drew one on turn 1 and on turn 2. So I'd gone through enough cards where it's like, you know, this Ohm is going to have a pretty high chance of actually hitting a Holy. He plays out that guy. Now I can attack into that with my Shura. That's what I was showing with the mouse there. I can attack right into Momonosuke. Perfect target. And now they're going to swing for 8 with double attack. So I'm like, okay, I will counter out of this and go up to 3 life next turn, preferably. So 2 into 0. He's not protecting that. I've got a 6k body on the board. I'm trying to make sure I do this in the correct way, because I think how I should do this is, yeah, so pause. So the way that I think I should do this is swing 6, attach 1 Dawn to Ohm, push him back to life, give Hody +2. So that's swing 7 with Hody, and then play out the other Ohm trying to get another dog. We'll see what happens. 2k counter out, very smart. Yep, swing for 7. That's probably exactly what I'm going to do here. Bounce this card back, +2 there, swing 7. We're just beating this guy down right now. He does get a Shirahoshi trigger. He takes it, gets a Shirahoshi trigger, draw 2, trash 2, or draw 3, trash 2. He trashed a Kikinojo and a Shirahoshi. And now I'm going to play out the Ohm. I did not hit another dog. Oh well, we're still in a pretty good spot, right? One thing about this deck that is very strong, the Sky Island version, is you can fill your deck out or fill your board out pretty well. It fills out, yeah, pretty nicely. And notice my hand, guys. If it comes down to a defensive game, I'm going to have a lot of options, right? Okay, swing 2 with Shirahoshi. Sure. You know, I don't care about that card at all. And also you can search up Enel, you can search up Gadatsu. It has a pretty decent curve whichever way you swing it. Swing in for 7. Let's see what they do. They're going to give me a 2K. Okay, very interesting. Not necessarily telling, but that is interesting. All right, so now let me see what I do here. I can't remember how I do this. Okay, it's going to be all 7s. So right here I mess up. No, I'm sorry, I didn't. If that was Cracker, that would have been a mess up, right? If that was Cracker. I'm trying to decide if I want to leave 1 Dawn active. I push that back. So hear me out, guys. The Ohm is a 6k right now, right? And the what's his name? Or he's actually a 7k technically, but I think he's a 6k on defense. And then now the dog will be a 7k. And now I'll leave 1 Dawn active for an El Thor. Swing 7 and waiting for a trigger. Let's see what they get. And they pop my Ohm with the Onami. All right, and now it is my opponent's turn. Let's see what they do. I've got 1 Dawn open for El Thor, and that thing is turned on because my opponent has 2 or less life. They have 0 life. And they can't even gain enough to get out of that threshold anyway if I need to defend out. And I also have a 0 cost that I can get out of whatever with, and then 2 1Ks. I'm in a pretty good position right now. I just don't want to take the hit from their Yamato. That's the only thing I'm trying to avoid. Okay, they swing in for 6. You know, unfortunately, I don't have like a solid 2k counter here. I think I should just El Thor, but I end up giving him 2 1Ks. I don't think I should have done that. I think I should have given him an El Thor right there. Because if he wants to attack in with the Momonosuke, that's fine, right? Because I can gain 1 life back very easily. Okay, or I could have done the play I just did, you know, where I counter with 2 1Ks if I absolutely needed to. Okay, so let's see what my opponent can do here, guys. I have a lot of Dawn, and I've got a Rush Luffy in hand. I've got a lot of ways to really punish my opponent right here, while still gaining life in the process. There's just so many things I can do. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to go about doing this. I swing for 6. It's like, okay, let's go ahead and swing for 8. And now I'm going to pull this card back to my hand, or to my deck, excuse me, to my life. And I'm going to swing for 7. Now it is their turn. I have 2 Dawn active this time, and a 0 cost event. So I've got 2 El Thors, a 0 cost, 3 life. And hey, if he attacks into my life, I want those cards, right? Now, he does get Hody Jones right there. Hody Jones is scary. I'm not going to lie, because that was something where it's like, whoa, that's not good. And he doesn't tap my Dawn down. Now, don't get me wrong, pause, it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because of the way he did that with the demonic aura, whatever this was, up to 1, I don't know what the play was there. I guess he was just trying to do a 2 cost plus 3,000. I just needed to get out of, like, 1 attack this turn, right? I only needed to get out of 1 attack. And since he did it in this way, I can get out of the leader attack easily now. He did plus 3,000 to the Momonosuke. You know, it is what it is. He's in a lot of trouble now. But like I said, he should have just tapped down my guy, right? He should have just tapped down my my Dawn. All right, let's see what he does here. And I think he realizes that now, where it's like, hey man, you only have 6 Dawn. You only have 6,000 power on your leader. So if he swings in for 9, right? If he swings in for 9 with that Momonosuke, I'm just gonna take it because I still have 1 life left. And then even if he swings in with his leader, I can even just take that at that point, right? Because he has no blocker, I can just run right through him. And then a Flopay was my last card in my life, and that is nice to know. So I could have gotten out of a 5K altogether if he had tapped down my 2 Dawn. Or get out of a 9K, excuse me. Okay, good stuff. Let me see. I've got 2 more games. 1 more Sky Island one, and then 1 random one we're going to look at. I think it's versus Ace. Okay, 2x speed. We're good to go. This one's against Red Purple Luffy. I have mentioned this before. I don't know how else to say it. I feel like Red Yellow Sabo has like something like a 90% win rate against Red Purple Luffy because they already start at 3 life. So any kind of trigger version you're running. Now this, funny enough, this one I think is not even running. Actually, is this one running Kikanojo? I can't remember. Whatever the case is, any of those cards you can get back. He does a Trafalgar Law and he gets 2 of my defensive counters out of hand. Seems good. I pop his Black Maria. And look at this, guys. He used Black Maria too early. He just went down to 5 Dawn, right? Or 4, excuse me. He went down to, down to 4 Dawn because of Black Maria. You have to be careful when you use that card, guys, especially early on. I'm not ramping. I'm at 4 Dawn. So he actually went back to me in Dawn. Okay. So I swung for 6 there. I'm going to swing for 6 more. These little pokes are very annoying to deal with for Red Purple Luffy. You can drain their hand very quickly. Now they do counter there. So right here, I think what I do. Okay, I don't think I should have done that. So hear me out. I'm going to say what I should have done in just a second. All right, swing for 6 here. Okay, and then I play out the Zoro. So yeah, this was not the right play no matter what. So real quick, that was a play mistake. That was an absolute total play mistake. Because think of what I could have done here. I could have played out the Luffy, right? Or the Luffy, excuse me, the Zoro. Play out the Zoro here. Attach a Dawn to my own. Add him back to the top of my life to gain a life. And then plus 2,000 on my Zoro, swing 7 into 5, and now I have a 7,000 power character on the board that will be hard for him to attack into. So that was just a strict play mistake, but hey, I am eating up like every single card in his hand. He's down to 1 card in hand. I've got a full grip of cards. I got 5 cards. I got 2 life. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Plays out Miss All Sunday. This will help him draw a card and ramp a Dawn. He's going to swing for 7 into 5. There's no way I could have lost this card otherwise, but now I had to use 2 cards out of hand to defend it. I fully defend out with this. And now it's time to attack, guys. Right here, I think that what I should have done first. Okay, 6 into life is fine, but I was thinking I should have done 5 into the character first. 5 into law first, and then go about it this way. Okay, he just went plus 1,000 for the turn. I'm going to swing in for 7 with Kid and Killer. This guy's actually not out of trouble yet. This guy's not out of trouble yet, to be honest. So right here, we're going to swing 7 more into life. Yeah, lots of trouble going on here. Swing 7. If he counters out of this, I'm actually just going to go into the body on the board, right? So this is a win-win situation for me. Yep. So now he has 1 character. He is at 8 Dawn, I think. He should be able to get up to 9 Dawn this turn. And I've got 3 life. I've got 3 bodies on the board. I have a 0 cost 3K, but I doubt I'm going to use a Kid and Killer to save one of my characters in this situation. It's just not going to happen. He can have 2 of my characters if he wants them. 7 into 5, you know, sure. Okay. 7 into 5, you can have it. Because I have a Kid and Killer coming, like I said. And a Kikanojo off the top. So yeah, this version is running Kikanojo. Right here, we're going to swing 8 into 6 where he has to take it. Okay, sure. You can have that card on KO. It gives you a, gives you a card from there. Okay, pause. So he should have at least blocked in that situation, but it didn't matter. I'm going to life my Kid and Killer, and then I'm going to add 2 Dawn to my Zoro and swing for 9 into 6. GG. Good stuff. All right, now we got one more game. We got one more game, guys. This one right here. I don't think I've showed this game. Y'all bear with me if I have. I don't remember showing it. But okay, we got a game against Ace. I think this was a real nail biter. I think this was also one of my earlier versions of the deck. So Onami, I played that out early. I don't know why. I have another one in hand. I think I was just trying to have something that could contest that Izo if he tries to swing with it. Plays out a Buggy. Okay, plays out Buggy to do a top 5 search there for an event, for a red event. And now I'm on 4 Dawn. So right here, again, I don't know why I'm playing out these Onamis. This is a strange tactic right here. I guess I'm just trying to set up, right? I'm just trying to set up for later. So swinging for 7. I've got 2 Onamis. I mean, I guess I can buff them, right? And now into this kind of stuff, I can easily take care of it. Okay, so I counter out a 1, take the other. I'm going to trash a card from hand to play out this Satori. They're going to Flame Emperor. I don't know why they didn't do that first. I guess they really... Wait, what was that? Wait, what just happened? Oh, it was Fire Fist, excuse me. They did a Fire Fist to pop a 5 and a 4 or less, and they ended up trashing a Flame Emperor from their hand to do that. Okay, here we go. 3 into 3. Let's see if they want to give me it. Perfect. We'll let it go. We'll let it go. Now I play out the ace, swing 7 at life. See if they take it. See what happens. No trigger. I put that card back to life. I'm going to swing in for 6. I've got a life. Now I've equalized in life. This version must be some type of Whitebeard Pirates version or something. I'm not exactly sure, guys. So I do apologize. Like I said, I have no idea which version. I've got 10 games recorded of Red, Yellow, Sabo right now on my computer. We're going through 5 of them today. That's where we're at. Excuse me, I have 15. 15 games. 5 today, and I've got 10 for later. So, guys, like I said, this is my new deck here. Now, swinging 7 into 7 there against Ace. This was, hear me out. Hang on, pause. That, in my opinion, was clumsy play there. I think, personally, I should have gone 7 to face. Then I could have gone, if that had gone through, then I could have just gone 9 into the ace, the 7-cost ace. That's how I think I should have done it. Maybe he could have protected it, who knows. And then I can still put this card back to the top of my life no matter what and redo it again next turn. But I think that was a little bit sloppy on my part. I did not like that play afterwards. I think, like, it worked. It did get the job done, 7 and 7 into his character and gain a life. But at the same time, I just wish I had done that a little bit differently. Okay, these aces are coming in hot, man. So maybe it was right that I took out the card the way I did. Right here, I do have an ace that I can attack with. So 5 into 5, he'll probably counter out of this. Actually, he takes it. Play out the ace, gain a life, 10 into 7. He has 2 Dawn active, though. That card is not going anywhere. Excuse me. Guard point plus a 0 cost 3K or something. I don't know what just happened there. But he just gave up a lot to save that card. Now my ace is at 7,000. Swings 8 into 7. I'm like, crap, dude. I don't have a single way to block. Look at my hand, guys. My hand is completely bricked up. Look at that. Just more bricks coming. This was another example where I was like, dude, I have to put more counters in the deck. Like 22 bricks for what I'm doing with this leader, it's just too much. It's just too much. And I understand people get unlucky as well. It does happen. But I want consistency. I want consistency as much as I can get it. Okay, so watch this play right here, guys. This is just crazy. Swing for 7. Swing for 7. I'm saying, okay, buddy, you got it or you don't. Put this card back. Swing for 9. Or swing for 8. And he did not have it. Okay, that was what was left in his hand. It is what it is, but I don't like when games get that close. Okay, I don't like when games get that close. All right, now, let's go back to the deck list one more time, and we'll finish off this video. Real quick, let me show you the Straw Hat version that I was messing with. I think I called it Straw Hat Triggers. Yeah, this one right here. This was the version I was messing with in the one game for the Straw Hat Crew stuff. Let me move my face. There we go. Excuse me. I do not think that this version is, like, perfect by any means. And I think it could use a lot of, like, really good revisions, and it would get even better. You know what I mean? But I do think it's still solid. I think there's something there. I haven't fully figured it out yet. Because one thing I will say is, guys, this Nami, it can search up anything in this deck except this Nami. It can actually search up Nami, even though it's the same person in the anime. Spoiler warning, right, guys? Nami can search up Nami because it's looking for any Straw Hat Crew card that's not named specifically in brackets N-A-M-I. Well, guess what? This card is called O-N-A-M-I. Totally different, right? Way crazy. So it can search up this Nami. Everything else is searchable of the Straw Hat Crew stuff other than Nami. Now, of course, Charlotte Linlin, the cards that are not Straw Hat Crew are obviously not searchable. But check out how many targets we have, guys. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 22. So there's 22 targets we can search up, and one of them that we unfortunately cannot. But another thing to look at is look how much KO I'm running in this deck, guys. From trigger. Pop a 4 or less, pop a 5 or less, pop a 4 or less, and pop a 5 or less. So you see, like, that is a lot of firepower coming from the top of the deck. And I can set these there if I need to. Right? Like with my leader's effect, I can give 1 Dawn to Luffy and put him on top of my life. Same thing with Zoro. I can put him at the top of life if I need to. Play him out as a 4-cost 5K, right? Smash in for 7, throw him on the top of my life, and now go ahead and swing into me. I'll pop one of your 4 less. You know what I mean? Like, there is some potential there with that. Linlin is just so good. Same thing with Kikanojo. Same thing with Kid and Killer. I'm running 10 rushers in this deck. I think, ideally, if I could pick exactly how many without having to worry about bricks and all that, I would want somewhere between 9 and 10. Like, I think somewhere, I'll say 8 and 10. Between 8 and 10, that is the amount of rushers I think you need in this deck to ensure that you at least see one a game. Now, this deck does run Nami, so I can search these cards up more, more consistently. So maybe that does need to be factored in for, like, your searcher power. But, guys, overall, these rushers are what makes this deck go. Like, it makes it go vroom, vroom, right? It makes it go real fast. It really makes the deck work. And if you're not running these cards, these rush cards, like Kid and Killer, though, remember, this is a 4-cost 5k rusher. That's it. Until your opponent is at 2 or less life, then it becomes a 4-cost 7k attacker. So this card, I've been dropping it down to 2 lately, 2 and 3, because I just want 1 a game, and I want it later in the game. Whereas Zoro, this guy's a beast, guys. Zoro is an absolute monster, and so is the 5-cost 7k rush ace if you have 2 or less life left. But again, now you're dealing with a stipulation, right? Zoro has no stipulation. Zoro is also a 5-cost 7k rusher, right? Because you can attach 2 Dawn to him, so that's 5 Dawn invested. So again, play him for 3. Attach 2, where's my hand at? Attach 2, and that puts him at a 7k rusher, and then you just put him back to life. There's no restriction on that. So I do think Zoro is like one of our absolute best rushers, and then when it comes to finishing the game, Kid and Killer and Luffy are just insane. They're just absolutely insane. But then when you go down to, like, let me just bring up Ace. This card right here, also, if you have 2 or less life, this card is absolutely, crazy. It's wild, right? I don't know how else to say it. Okay, so then this was the Straw Hat version. I think there's some work to be done here, but I do think it's a decent start, but I think it could be better. Real quick before I move on, actually, let me show you guys. If you type in Straw Hat and look up all the red and yellow cards, there's not a ton of yellow cards just yet. Check it out. Check these out at your own leisure, of course. But at the same time, there's enough to get things going here. And another thing I've considered, but I'm probably not going to do it, is we could always replace Nami, like this 1-cost Searcher Nami, with the 1-cost event 2 years to this one. In 2 years at the Sabo Archipelago. You could run this because it's an event that does a top 5 Straw Hat type character card search. We're only running characters. That's all we need to find. This would be able to search up your other Nami, and it also has a trigger to just play it from your life if you hit it. So yeah, good stuff there. And most people already know the red ones. You can pause and look at these if you want to. Okay, next list, I do want to hop on another red-yellow one. So we looked at, the last one we just looked at was some type of Whitebeard's version. Let me show you all that. I'm still working on this. I think it's this one. I don't think it's this one. Never mind. Hang on, let me see. It might have been the other Sabo beard one. If I can't find this one, I do apologize, guys. I might have even just gotten rid of it. No, I think this. No. Maybe this is it. I don't think it is. Whatever the case is, it was running like your 10-cost aces. It was running the 5. I think it was running the 5-cost ace. It was running Kid and Killers. Oh, I think I know what this one was. Hang on. I think this is the one I called Gas Guzzler or something like that. Something crazy, something cringy. Oh, wait, it might have been Filth. Hang on. Hang on, guys. It might have been called Filth. Right. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Got you my alphabet. Here we go. Is this it? No, this isn't it either. Anyway, whatever the case was, that one, it was very similar to this list, but it was running, instead of Dragon, it was basically running the 9-cost Whitebeard. That's probably the only difference. I think most of the rest was about the same. Now, the last one I wanted to look at was the Sky Island one. And I want to know what you guys think about all these different versions. And then, of course, tying it all back, I think I called it Skybo. Here it is. Yep. Cool. So here's this one. It's time to clean up my all the decks that I have, guys. I have so many different random decks at this point. Like, look at this. If I just scroll through them, I think I'm getting close to 200 decks in here, guys. It's just getting out of control. Anyway, this was the Sky Island version that I was running. And yeah, I'm not running Gadatsu for some reason. I was going to say, I don't think I'm running Gadatsu. I need to add that immediately. I would probably drop... If I were to adjust this deck, I would drop down 2 Kid and Killers. I like the Luffys. I would drop down 1 L. And then I'd probably drop down one of these events. Maybe drop 1 L Thor. And then I would go up the... what's his name? Gadatsu. This would be my immediate revision to the deck, and then boom, finished for now. We'll have to see how things happen in the future, see if I can improve it more in the future. But check it out, guys. Like, this version, it seems kind of decent. I'm running 10 2K counters with 3 1-cost events and 4 0-cost events. You can always adjust that number to your liking, because you can also, maybe toss out 2 of these You're the One Should Disappear, and actually put in 2 Raigo. Because, guys, that's another card. Let me show y'all. This is a Sky Island searchable card with our Gadatsu. Or excuse me, not Gadatsu, with our Shura. Our Shura can search up this card Raigo. Okay, like really good stuff there. This can allow us to deal with anything in the game. So maybe there's a world where we have to try to combo the Rush package with Shura if something like Enel and Bonnie increase in the format. We'll have to see. It all depends on your locals too. Like what's it like at your locals? That's like the only thing that's going to determine, you know, what you need to do or what you'll know to do. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I don't have a lot to say about this version. It's pretty straightforward. I'm just running the Shuras. Satori is a 2K counter that's searchable. I'm still running Flampe at 4 of and 2 Frankies. Shura's the searcher, like I said. Hody, it's running that package. It's running 3 Russian Ls. It's running 4 Gadatsus. Because I'm running these Russian Ls, maybe there's an argument that I don't have to... I could probably go down 1 L. Let me just say this right now. I could go down 1 L and go down one of these events here. In fact, I want to go down even more than that, but then I can add 2 Rygos. There's some ideas here, right? There's some things that need to be worked out. I have not had enough time to really test this idea out, but this is basically, you know, at least a starting point for anyone who might be interested in taking this deck to the next level. All right, I'm done rambling, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. If you have any ideas about these 3 versions I showed today, remember, it was Red, Yellow, Straw Hat. They're all red, yellow. It was Straw Hat Crew, Sky Island, and then just some random, you know, all Rushers, Whitebeard Pirates shenanigans deck. You know, what do you guys think about that? Because I will say this, I will be working on a Whitebeard Pirates version of the list in the near future because of the cards that have finally been released on the sim for ST15. I will be exploring that, but that's not yet. That's going to be, you know, a little bit more in the future. Guys, I'm all in on Red, Yellow, Sabo. I couldn't be more serious about it. All right, I'm done. Let me go ahead and throw up the playmat page. Big shout out to the people who support this channel. Give me just 1 second to get set up here. There we go. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel. All these people who bought the playmats. I hope they all arrived now, you know, by now, and hope you guys enjoy them. And also a big shout out to the patrons, you know, the people who donate to the channel just to help out the cause, you know, just trying to help me out and keep the channel going and all that good stuff. Well, yeah, that's it. Okay, now I'm done. Thank you to everybody who just likes, subscribes, shares, comments, views it, anything like that. You really help me out. You're really helping the channel. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.